Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Duck Insider.
These are good problems to have, right? So much success that you have more than one place to be.
5-3, touchdown, Oregon.
Off a dribble, launches, and hits the three. Oregon leads.
What a great opportunity it is to be able to play at University of Oregon.
I'm just incredibly proud to be a part of something like this.
She wants another three. Oh, three in a row.
Big Ten champions.
National champions, yes. The Ducks take home an indoor national title.
We are so privileged and so fortunate. We get to see all these young people. We get to see this incredible growth, which is what college is all about.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
It is a Thursday inside the Country Financial Studio. It's Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Ryan Milano with you ahead of what is going to be a packed week in Oregon athletics here in Eugene and around the country coming up this weekend for the Ducks as Oregon Track and Field plays host to the Big Ten Championships. We will have a big track and field breakdown on the show today. Also, Oregon softball preparing to host their regional round at Jane Sanders Stadium. We will hear from Coach Lombardi and a few players on the show tomorrow. It's also Oregon baseball game day in Iowa as the Ducks still have a chance to get the Big Ten Conference regular season title if a few things break the Ducks' way here Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. The series against Iowa. It's a 4 p.m. first pitch, 3:45 Pacific time pregame show with Joey Mack in Iowa, as it could be a matchup between it is a matchup between two of the best arms in the Big Ten Conference and could ultimately be a big deciding factor into who wins Big Ten Pitcher of the Year coming up tonight as Grayson Grinsell goes up against Cade Obermueller on the other side for the Hawkeyes and Iowa. Also, Oregon women's golf getting ready to start the NCAA championships coming up tomorrow as well. It is a big weekend around Oregon athletics. There are a lot of teams making either that postseason push or already in postseason play. It's a big week around Oregon athletics. There's also a big day today because today is Ducks Give Day. It's if you want to help donate and support the Oregon Athletic Department, go to goducks.com/DucksGive. The University of Oregon is celebrating 10 years of Ducks Give today across the UO campus and virtually around the entire world. With the shifting landscape of college athletics, Oregon athletics needs to make strategic decisions to ensure that we continue providing the resources necessary to compete at the highest level of collegiate athletics. Oregon is one of fewer than 20 athletic departments nationwide that operates as a self-sustaining unit, receiving no institutional support or student fees. Every dollar generated by Oregon athletics is reinvested directly into supporting the success of the 20 athletic programs and 481 student athletes. 481. Every donation is pivotal in allowing us to deliver an exceptional student-athlete experience and the competitive excellence we all enjoy at UO. The goal for Ducks Give Day today is by midnight tonight to have 481 gifts to either the Duck Athletic Fund or Women in Flight before midnight tonight. 481, one gift for every student athlete. That's the goal by the end of the day today. So make sure, if you're willing and able to support Oregon and the athletic programs here at the University of Oregon, go to goducks.com/DucksGive on Ducks Give Day today to help support the many student athletes here around the University of Oregon. That's just one of many reasons why this weekend is a big weekend for Oregon athletics. I already mentioned that Hayward Field is another big reason. It's a Big Ten championship on the line for both men's and women's track as the Big Ten title is at Hayward Field. Means it's a big opportunity for a whole bunch of Oregon track and field athletes. The head coach, Jerry Schumacher, he met with the media yesterday previewing what could be a potential sweep of the running events for the Oregon women and what could be back-to-back track and field Big Ten titles on the indoor and outdoor for the men. You got to put it on the track. You have to perform and execute in the moment. That's the theme of the conversation with Jerry Schumacher he talked about yesterday as he met with the media. Let's get to Coach Schumacher.
We heard both of them refer to like ways of like managing nerves, and kind of those two athletes maybe have different approaches to like managing nerves. When, you know, a pure team sport, a coach might have a message, here's how I want everybody to be locked in mentally, but your sport, like, is it individualized how you kind of psychologically approach where you want each athlete's mindset at going into a meet like this?
Yeah, 100%. Every athlete's different. Everyone has to prepare in their own way that kind of gets them in the right frame so that they're ready to give their best. Some people, as you heard Simeon just talk about, they really thrive off of the nerves. They embrace it, and it helps make them better. It makes them kind of just more focused and tuned into what they have to do. And other people want to avoid it because they feel like they get too nervous and they're not going to perform well. So it's a very individual piece, and everyone's different in that respect. So we respect all those differences, and we try to get the best out of each person, each student athlete the way we can. But yeah, it's different for all of them.
Well, what's it like managing that as a head coach? I mean, when you got so many different people, and
we have event area coaches that work specifically with their event area athletes, and everyone kind of manages those pieces the way they need to. And we hear a little bits and pieces from all the coaches. We hear bits and pieces about how each athlete's doing, and we kind of go from there.
Is there any unique athlete that you've heard about the way that they handle the nerves? I'm just kind of curious that really stood out to you that you're like, oh, that's interesting. I've never heard about that. Or
no, I've seen it all. I mean, I've seen it all. I've seen the ones that will literally, throw up 3 seconds before they step to the line, and those who you think they're asleep at the wheel and when they toe the line, and yet you get great performances out of both. So it crosses there's a great divide between how many different ways to prepare for a meet.
Have there been some differences competing in the Big Ten this year? Some people have thought maybe there have, but otherwise others believe really it's just you line up and you do your thing.
Yeah, I don't think there's huge differences. I mean, it's the Big Ten is a great conference. We're towing the line as a team, and that was probably not any different than any of the other teams and all the other conferences are doing this weekend as well. There's great competition, obviously great universities. It's a lot of fun. The conference meet is probably, in my opinion, one of the most fun meets to compete in all year, because it's really an opportunity for our program to kind of showcase the depth of athletes from our roster, and a lot of meets you don't get to do that, or you're off chasing standards and you're in different areas and different parts. But this is one where we all get to come together at the same location, compete for that common goal, and team competition is what we love to do. So, I think on the men's side, we're competing 34 student athletes. On the women's side, I think it's 27 or 28. So we're lining up full squads this weekend to compete against, all the other teams.
Is there anybody competing this weekend who's making their season debuts?
Season debut? Outdoor. I don't think so. I think we were
Connor or Elliott.
Nope, I don't think so. I think everybody who has competed already, or athletes who have competed already, will be lining up. There's nobody that's just opening up.
How do you carry the momentum for the women's side, from that national championship, from that obviously amazing moment for the program?
Yeah, it was great. It'll be tough to do. So, if I look at both the men's and women's sides of the meet, and starting with the women's, with your question, I heard the question about the Triple Crown in the conference, which is really cool and a great opportunity. And obviously, we're not going to shy away from that. We kind of embrace the fact that we're in that position, and we like that. But it's never easy. It's never going to be easy to beat the other great schools in our conference. And when I look at it, as Simeon even said on paper, we're probably not favored to win either the men or the women on paper, but I would say we're one of 3 or 4 schools that can win both the men and women. And just being able to be in that fight and be in that moment, I like the way our team does that. And, if it was as easy as just mailing the trophy based on, your paper score, they could have done that and not brought everybody here to Eugene this weekend. So, we're excited to line everybody up and see what happens.
Is there anything you learned from the indoor Big Ten championships that you kind of take into the outdoor, just having that experience, against a lot of the same athletes, the competitors? What did you learn, and how do you kind of maybe change things into this outdoor championship?
Well, one of the things I learned about our team is that, from the indoor conference, our men and women were phenomenal. They stepped up and they competed lights out. And so there wasn't a hiccup in anything that happened. I mean, it might not be, it might not be to perfection that everybody maximized what they could possibly do, but it was pretty darn close. And I like that. When I see a team that can compete like that, when it matters, that gives me a good feeling that we're going to see real. I mean, again, I can't predict if we're going to win or lose on the weekend. That's why we're going to, have the contest, but I do like how we compete. And I think we're going to get the same type of competitive effort this weekend from our student athletes.
Jerry, you got just a ton of talent groups, obviously, but what makes these women's middle distance runners special? What do you and Shalane say?
What makes them special? I mean, they're talented, they're hardworking, they're disciplined, they're focused. They want to. I mean, like you heard from Simeon, like he doesn't like losing. I mean, and I think that's the general feeling I get from all of our student athletes. But that middle distance crew on the women's side is, Claudia was 10th at the Olympic Games. She's a world-class athlete. That's not to put any pressure on her, but she was 10th at the Olympics. She's a world-class athlete, and that's fun to have on your roster.
Was it fun to have a meet like last week where it was kind of, pretty low key, but also at the same time just fun and just like, nice little build up for this week?
Yeah, last week was more about, for us, it was more about, for any athletes that we felt needed a little something to just help sharpen up a little bit before the championship season. We found events for them and put them in. It was great to see the rest of the team who wasn't competing. They were in the stands. They were cheering for them. We had senior. I mean, it was a fun night for our team just to be together. And even though everybody wasn't racing, everyone knew the purpose of it and they knew the point of the meet. And it was just good to see everyone together again in the week before. I think it's good to kind of build those bridges heading into the championship season. And that's what we were able to do last weekend.
There were 2 performances that stood out. I'm sure Maddie was pissed that he didn't break 47 seconds in the open 400. And then your javelin thrower that competed unattached. Will we see him in a uniform this week?
Not this year. Not this year. Yeah. So, starting with Maddie, that was that 400 was great. I mean, there was, we were trying to figure out, like, can he get under 47? I mean, it's hard to do when you're really kind of an 8:15 guy. So putting him in the open 4, and we talked about it. We said, you're probably flirting right around that area. You might be able to break 47. And so no doubt that would have been, kind of a happier moment. But what did he run? 47.05, I think.
47.04.
Or 4.
It'd be nice to throw the USC guys out there just to kind of push them a little bit.
Yeah, he did a great job in the 400. So we're really happy with that performance. And then competing unattached was, Daniel Durana in the javelin. And that was, I don't know how many of you saw it, but that was he threw 76 meters. And I don't know, he was 3 or 4 meters behind the line when he released the javelin. And so there's still some work to do there, because obviously you don't want to do that. You want to be as close to that line as possible. But obviously we see big things from him next year, so we're pretty excited.
Because he would be like 9th right now in the NCAA.
Yeah, I know. We talk about that all the time. Yeah. So, so it would be fun, but he won't be opening up for us this season. So,
what do you think of the uniforms?
Love the uniforms. What do we call that? Unstoppable yellow.
Kind of a mix between like the original yellow and then like vintage, not vintage, but like.
No, I think vintage is the right word. It's got that throwback. It's got the throwback look to it and color. Obviously, it's a newer uniform because we were wearing the older model. But at some point it becomes so outdated that they've been worn enough times that you have to but we wanted to keep that same feel, and I think that's what this uniform is, and we'll be competing in that uniform Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the same uniform all 3 days. So that's our team is excited about wearing this uniform. This is kind of our conference our conference uniform, and they're always excited to put this one on. So,
but the font was totally different compared to the original.
Yeah, it's a little different. Yep.
Jerry Schumacher previewing the Big Ten championships this weekend at Hayward Field. A reminder that because Oregon Softball Regional is happening at the same time as the Big Ten championships, it'll get congested down there, and that parking may be an issue. Fans are encouraged to park at Autzen Stadium in the Autzen East lot and take the shuttle over from Autzen Stadium to either Jane Sanders Stadium or Hayward Field for the events. It will go from the east lot of Autzen to just outside of Hayward Field where the shuttles will drop off. They will run every 30 minutes over the course of Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So more details on that on GoDucks.com, but also if you are able, if you think parking might be an issue, park at Autzen, take the shuttle over. It's a little convenient. And, well, who knows? If you take the shuttle, I'd like to time it, actually. If you take the shuttle and you have a runner start at Autzen and run to Hayward Field, I wonder what would be faster. I guess it depends on the runner. Like, if a distance runner, I think, would probably have it in the bag. Because what is it? It's like 1.25 miles, 1.5 miles? Yeah. Chris says about 1.5 miles. Who knows? I think that would be a great exercise. And my money would probably be on the runners because Oregon's got a lot of talented ones. And we'll talk to a few of them when we come back after this on Duck Inside on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
More Duck Insider from the Country Financial Studios after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, so what's a great way to spread awareness that driving high is illegal everywhere? A catchy song, of course.
You can run, but you can't drive high. You can run, but you can't.
Friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, it's Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. And Ryan Milano here with you, breaking down the Big Ten championships that will be coming up this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's an all-day affair at Hayward Field. Make sure to check GoDucks.com for entries, times, all of the such. But someone who's part of a team who's looking to win their third running Big Ten title of the year is Ella Clayton. Oregon in cross-country won the women's title in the Big Ten. Ella Clayton, the sprinter, was a big part of Oregon's indoor title in the Big Ten championships a few months back. And now, again, now on the outdoor scene, she's poised to play a part in what Oregon is hoping to be a Big Ten three-peat. We'll see later this week if Oregon can take home their 7th and maybe even 8th Big Ten title of the year. Ella Clayton could be a big reason why. Talking to her with the media, she spoke with them yesterday. Let's get to the sprinter, Ella Clayton.
Video of you, it's kind of like this big reaction. How did that feel, and then how did that set you up for the postseason?
Yeah, I think the start of my season was a little bit off to a slower start. I had a home meet the 2 weekends before. It was kind of, not exactly a time I was looking for. And then coming into Arizona, I think that's kind of the meet where the sprinters, the jumpers, the throwers, they get ready to get some good marks out there. So it was good to get that time down and to, be ready to come into this conference meet looking good. I mean, it gave me some much needed confidence, and I think that, it makes me excited to come for what's to come this postseason.
Just walking out on the track and seeing all like the signage and everything, does that make it feel just more real? Hey, postseason's here, different level?
Yeah, totally. I mean, us hosting this meet, it's super exciting, and I think that it makes some good nerves coming into the meet. I mean, obviously Hayward Field, we know this track better than anyone else, and so I think that it creates some excitement. I mean, even just training today, everything's all set up same as yesterday, and it makes people feel like they're really ready to get going. So
what are your thoughts on just what the team can accomplish this weekend?
Yeah, I think that we're in a really good place. I mean, obviously coming off of indoor season where the men and the women won Big Ten, women won NCAAs, our women won the cross country. So I think that there's a little bit of pressure maybe that comes with that, but I think that we're ready to kind of channel that into good energy and put it out onto the track. And we're here to show the Big Ten that, we're here to stay and not just compete, but to win. So
you guys are talking about the Triple Crown?
Yeah, I mean, it's always, kind of in the back of our minds. I don't think that it's something that we need to necessarily super focus on. The coaches especially, they always tell us, that we don't have to come out here and do something super crazy. They just expect us to come out here and do what we've been doing this whole season. And, and everything will work its way out from there. So
kind of talking about that pressure, you guys obviously lose, a couple athletes from indoors to outdoors in the shot put in the 200 with obviously Jada and Jada. Do you feel like there is more pressure on in some of the other events for the women to kind of step up, to get some of those position spots, to get those extra points when you can't rely on a couple of the people that you've done in years past?
Yeah, I think that our team is really special, and I mean, we kind of have points across the board everywhere. We're a really diverse group of individuals, and I think we also have a really good mindset. I think everyone is really ready to fight for every point possible. And I mean, even indoors, our head coach, Jerry, that's his main point is you got to go out there and you got to get, if you're going from 4th to 5th, or if you're going, from 5th to 4th, just like that 1 extra point, 2 extra points, it's important. And so I think that everyone is really excited and really ready to go out there and just give it their all.
What were some of the biggest differences competing in the Big Ten this season, just for the team?
Yeah, I think personally, I don't think that there was too much of a difference. Obviously, having an indoor conference since Pac-12, we didn't have one of those. I think it's been really fun. It's been cool to come out here, get into the Big Ten, and obviously, like I said before, show them that we're here not to just compete, but to win. And it's been a good experience so far, and it's really cool being able to host our first Big Ten outdoor conference here at home.
You mentioned, feeling good nerves, a little bit of pressure. Some people go into a postseason thinking, hey, I want to just keep the same exact mindset. Do you find yourself fueled a little bit by, hey, no, let's embrace that it's a different kind of a level and let that fuel you a little bit?
Oh, yeah, totally. I mean, just going to the meets, postseason, everything's just a little bit more intense, not necessarily in a bad way. I think, we're all athletes and we're all competitive and we're here to put our best foot forward and compete to the best of our abilities. And I think that something like that is really helpful, having a big meet to kind of get those nerves going. And my grandpa always said, get the butterflies flying in the right direction. And I think that's super important. So yeah.
There's a lot of talk earlier this season. Did you guys host the team invitational about kind of striking that balance between individual competition and team? Is there something to you already having competed Big Ten indoors, NCAA indoors, like to have that team camaraderie this season?
Yeah, I think that track is a really cool sport, especially in the NCAA, and that it's obviously an individual sport, but something like this, conference, NCAAs, it turns into a team sport. And it's really cool being able to see all of the other events coming in. Like you see jumpers cheering for the sprinters and distance cheering for the multis. Like it's really cool to see everyone kind of, involved in all of the events. And yeah, I personally really love conference. I mean, I was saying to someone the other day, my freshman year, we hosted Pac-12s, and that still to this day was my favorite event to compete in because it's just, Hayward magic is real. And I think coming here and being able to do that with a home crowd and the whole team just gets really, really hyped. So yeah.
So you touched on it a little bit there, but just what does that team mentality look like out on the track?
Yeah, I think it's just like I said, fighting for every spot and just cheering on all of the athletes. I mean, whether you place 8th or if you place 1st, there's still some points there. And just knowing that if you're on the team and they chose you to compete for Oregon, you have a place and you have a reason to be out there, and they want you to get some good comp in.
How much have you watched that team camaraderie maybe change from year one to now? Because in the last couple of meets that I've covered you guys at home, despite maybe not a ton of Oregon athletes competing, there's still a bunch of Oregon athletes in the stands cheering on your teammates. How has that kind of blossomed? Do you feel like it's changed, it's grown from year one to year now, and what's it been like?
Yeah, I don't think it's changed much. I think it's maybe grown a little bit. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, obviously, for example, sprinters distance, we don't train at the same time. We don't see each other much. But when these meets happen, we're able to come together and really cheer each other on and support each other. And so, yeah, I think it's really cool. Even if the athletes are competing, you'll see them in the stands. And you can see that even last weekend we had Twilight. Everyone came out. It was senior night. And it was really nice to see, the team camaraderie and everyone cheering each other on and being excited for everyone's marks. So.
Couple more. Has it sunk in the fact that, as you mentioned, Pac-12's freshman year?
Yeah.
4 years later, 5 years later, we're Big Tens.
Yeah.
Has it sunk in that the fact that you guys have made this transition? I know you guys got a little bit of a taste of it in Indianapolis, but has it still kind of sunk? It's like, wow, we are in this different conference now.
Yeah, totally. I mean, even yesterday when we were warming up, we were looking at just outside Hayward, it had all the schools lined up. I was like, oh, Purdue, we don't see schools like that. And so, I mean, it's really cool to be able to compete against these different schools and see different people. I got a friend on Michigan, seeing other people from, out east. It's really cool for them to come in and to be able to, host them and show them around. But then also it's, at the same time, remembering that, this is our conference now and can't live in the glory days too much back in Pac-12s, and we're here to stay and we're here to compete and win. So
you do lose Jada and Jaden, but you do add Claudia and Diana into the mix. I mean, those are, if I do the math correctly, there's a potential you can score 46 points out of because between the distance, the 5, the 10, and 5. Does it feel like, you kind of you add those two in, it's like you didn't really lose the 2 key athletes from the indoor season?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're going to miss Jada, we're going to miss Jaden, but I think we have a lot of good athletes and a lot of good athletes that have been on the team who are now just starting to show up and to get some points out on the board. I mean, obviously we have some standout athletes, but like I said, 1 point can make a difference. And I think that there's a lot of athletes here and on just the team that are able to, show out and compete well for us. So I think that we're in a good spot and we're ready to go out there.
That seems odd. What's the goal this weekend?
To come out with a win. I think that is everyone's goal at the end of the day. I think, not thinking about it too much and like I said, taking it day by day and event by event and scrapping, clawing, fighting for every point.
Track looking to come out with a win. That's the goal for Oregon track and field. On the women's side, it's also the goal on the men's side. Oregon trying to sweep the Big Ten track and field championships in the indoor and the outdoor. One of the key contributors that'll factor into the men's squad, Simeon Birnbaum. We're hearing from Oregon's distance runner when we return after this on Duck Inside on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
With a great selection of new Toyotas, everyone knows your summer starts here at your Toyota dealer, even your pet parrot.
Right, your summer starts here.
Well said.
Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends June 2nd. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
With a great selection of new Toyotas, everyone knows your summer starts here at your Toyota dealer, even your pet parrot.
Right, the summer starts here.
Well said.
Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends June 2nd.
Toyota, let's go places.
Duck Insider, Duck Insider, Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
Heather and I had an argument just like any other couple. I was lost. I had snapped. I had a gun and I was going to take my own life. Heather helped me realize that there was still a life to live for the better of myself, my family. My weapon is now safely put away.
A moment of crisis can happen to anyone. Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
You know you make me wanna kick my heels up and throw my hands up and throw my head back and come on now. Don't forget to say you will.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, it's Duck Insider brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Ryan Milano with you, previewing the Big Ten Track Championships that'll be going on this weekend at Hayward Field. The women could prove to be a serious contender again for the Big Ten title. So will the men. And a big reason why I think is going to be the addition of Simeon Birnbaum into their scoring rotation. Birnbaum competing in his first outdoor track championships. He spoke with the media yesterday. It's his excitement for the Big Ten, his excitement to be back at Hayward, and also his excitement to compete and potentially win a Big Ten championship. Talking to Simeon Birnbaum.
Simeon, coming off of your 1500 Twilight 337, what that felt like for you and how that plays going forward over the next few meets.
Felt good. It was a very fun race. It was very fun to run at Hayward Field at night, and it was just kind of like the meet I had marked on my calendar. With a slow start to the year, I was like, this is kind of late in the year. I can probably run pretty quick here and get my regional standard, so it was a good confidence.
What have been some of the biggest differences for the team in your estimation going into the Big Ten this year?
Biggest differences? I mean, this is my first outdoor conference meet or first track conference meet for that, so I can't speak too much on differences. I think we're strong. I think we're ready to go.
What you running this week?
1500 and most likely 5K.
Yeah. You said you already got the regional standard, so why do you think you want to run another 1500 again?
I don't want to see a non-Oregon athlete win in Hayward Field. So if I can prevent that, I'm going to try my best.
What did it just mean for you to have, what you did, last week at the Twilight, PR 337, I believe last high was 345. So how much confidence does that give you heading into, a Big Ten championship track meet where, everything's on the line and another title's on the line for you guys?
Yeah, I felt really good. I mean, I knew I could do it. I just needed to get out there and do it. I mean, going in, I wasn't worried too much about time. There's good enough athletes in the field where I knew if I had won, I was going to run fast enough. And so the main goal is to just get the win. And so I was more happy about just winning that race.
So, you mentioned that this is your first conference championship meet outdoors. Has it felt like a long time coming for you?
Yeah, it's kind of been a long journey to get here, not the smoothest, but things are going well now. And yes, I'm very excited.
You mentioned the field a little bit there. Is there anything you raced against a field with some pro guys in it last weekend? Now you're racing college guys. Is there any difference? Do you think about that at all?
Not really a difference. I mean, they're all good 1500 meter runners. Some very good ones in our conference. Probably going to be much more challenging to beat, and I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I'm excited to go out there and really get pushed.
You've raced some of these guys before, whether it's Penn relays or even in high school before. Like, what makes it more challenging? Because you said last week some of them were a lot better than the pro guys that you ran against last week. So what makes them a challenge out there?
I mean, some of them just straight up have better PRs. So a lot of them just have a lot of experience with racing. A lot of them have been around the NCAA for a long time. They've done these conference meets over and over and over again, and they've won, and they've proven themselves before, even at the national level. And then even in the postseason, some of them have done very impressive things. And so they're just very, very good 1,500 meter runners, and that's what makes them hard to beat.
When you do get a moment like this where you get to compete in your first kind of outdoor championship conference-wise, how do you kind of get yourself prepared? Obviously, not only physically, obviously, for an event like this, but mentally as well. What are you doing this week to make sure you're ready for the moment when you get your opportunity?
I won't treat it any different than any other race. I'll try not to think about putting too much pressure on myself. I get nervous enough. I don't need to work on making myself any more angst. But yeah, I'll just be ready to go and kind of be ready to work off of instinct and just do my best.
What do you do to quiet the nerves? Is there anything in particular?
I don't try to quiet them. I think it's fine to be really nervous. I think I thrive off being really nervous, and the more nervous I am, I feel the more ready I am to go, the more sharp I am.
What's the outlook on the team competition part of this for you guys? You weren't in it, but they had the team invitational earlier this year. What does that look like when you guys are looking at this meet?
Yeah, I mean, on paper, we're not supposed to win. I mean, we weren't supposed to win indoors. I mean, it's on paper for a reason. It really doesn't matter. Only thing that matters is the days you can beat and how good you do on those days. And so I'm very excited to compete as a team. I really haven't experienced that before, like I said. I mean, I did cross country, but it's totally different on the track. I'm ready to watch some events and cheer on my teammates like that. So yeah, I'm excited.
Where do you think your fitness is at right now? Just based off, just kind of this late start, trying to, at least on the individual side.
Good enough. Yeah.
You guys are good enough, thinking long term. I mean, I don't know if Tokyo's on your mind towards September. Are we thinking long term, trying to compete for maybe a world team?
I mean, the past year, if anything, has shown me not to think too far in the future. So I'm just grateful. I'm healthy right now, and I'm able to compete at this meet. And I believe I can do some very fun stuff in the future, but I just try not to think about that right now.
Focus set on Hayward Field this weekend for Simeon Birnbaum and the Oregon track team as they will compete in the Big Ten championships Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all day. Also Oregon softball Friday, Saturday, Sunday, basically all day. The Eugene Regional at Jane Sanders Stadium should be a lot of fun around that block of campus. There will be a lot going on, a lot of championship potential over on campus this weekend for Oregon athletics. We're taking another timeout. When we come back, some diamond sports, some women's basketball, a whole lot more when we return on Duck Inside on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You say you'd never give in to a meltdown and never fill your feed with kid photos. You say you'd never put a pacifier in your mouth to clean it and never let them run wild through the grocery store. So when you say you'd never let them get into a car without you there, no, it can happen. 1 in 4 hot car deaths happen when a kid gets into an unlocked car and can't get out. never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, it's Duck Insider brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Ryan Milano here with you on a Thursday. On Monday, it was a big day for Oregon women's basketball. If you were at Matthew Knight Arena, I don't know where you were because it was electric inside Matthew Knight Arena. Sabrina Ionescu and Yara Sabli, they were back playing for the New York Liberty in the exhibition game. Chris Clayton, who's directing the show right now, was there. Chris had a good time. Chris also spoke with Sabrina Ionescu before the game, and just hearing Sabrina's thoughts on being back. We'll get to the post-game on tomorrow's show, but in the pre-game, Sabrina just being back in Eugene, embracing the community, I think it's worthy of a run on Duck Insider because getting Sabrina back in town, that was awesome. It was awesome to see her. It was awesome to see the way that she played. Chris, he got to sit down with Sabrina before the game on Monday. Here's the conversation between Chris Clayton and Sabrina Ionescu.
You're back in Eugene. You're preparing to play a game here this time. What's going through your head? What's this experience been like?
Yeah, I mean, it's been amazing. Obviously, I've been back many times, but never for a game. So super excited to just be able to kind of show my team, what makes the University of Oregon so special, and going to be able to see that tonight.
When this started to come together and get organized, what was going through your mind? And I guess also, did you have a say in this happening? Was this your idea to come back and play here?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. That's something that I wanted. That was kind of like a dream come true, and was trying not to get too high or low about it until I knew 100% we were really going to be coming. And obviously wanted to tell my family and, know how excited they were. But everyone's just been excited. There's been so many emotions of kind of being back here and kind of just enjoying what is home. It was my first home away from home, and super thankful for everyone that's made it special so far.
You got the surprise this weekend, Eugene Mayor Karin Knutson saying today is Sabrina Ionescu Day. Did you ever think you'd have a holiday named after you?
No, I mean, absolutely not. That was definitely quite a surprise, and kind of fun to be able to just share that experience with my team and see the love and support that they had for me through it. But yeah, I mean, it's surreal, and obviously what I did here during my time playing, was special, but to be able to kind of be recognized for everything that I've done since then in this Eugene community is, just as special. Knowing you're trying to impact and change lives, and being able to be recognized for that in real time is something I'm very thankful for.
Well, on that note, you think about the last year. You get married, you win a championship, you're in commercials, you're at the Met Gala, now you're back here. Have you been able to step back and kind of soak all in everything that's happened?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, it was quite an amazing year. And, I think just being thankful for the year that I had is super important, kind of being where your feet are at and knowing how special a year like that is. And, it doesn't come around often. So just being kind of in the moment and thankful for what a blessing last year was, and ready to take on whatever this year has to offer.
You think back to 2020. It's the last time you played a game here. Ended really abruptly. You guys dominate the Pac-12 tournament. You don't get the chance to play here again. Is this maybe an opportunity for a sense of closure to be able to come back and play again?
Yeah, I mean, I think, especially that senior year, like we were so looking forward to being able to host the NCAA tournament and play at home. And to not have gotten that, is always sad and, something you never really heal from. Obviously, this doesn't compare to being able to go out and try and win a national championship, but I would say the ability to just come back and take this floor one more time in front of this amazing crowd is something that I never thought would happen, and it is happening, so very thankful for that.
When you think back, does anything stand out as some favorite memories of playing as a Duck?
I mean, I think every memory, like I wouldn't have wanted to be anywhere else. You know, this university kind of shaped who I am, the relationships that I've made, the people who are here that continue to make this place really special. And, you know, every single memory from what we did on the court, but off the court as well, has kind of just shaped who I am as a person in my career.
And now you think about this team. You have a little bit of a different look on the roster this year, but the core is back. What do you hope to get out of this game as you guys prepare for the season opener?
Yeah, I mean, I think just continuing to build continuity and, you know, getting to continue to play with one another is really important. Obviously, our core's back, but we got a lot of new pieces. And so I think continuing to just build chemistry is really important and something that you can build in a preseason game.
It was cool getting Sabrina Ionescu back in town, back at Matthew Knight Arena, the University of Oregon. It was cool to see her back, and I know Kelly Graves thought it was really cool to see her back as well. Her, Niara, the entire Liberty. It's a big opportunity to have that type of attention on the University of Oregon. Chris also sat down with Kelly Graves before the game, and his reaction to getting Sabrina back in town. Let's hear from KG.
What a cool event this is for you, for the Ducks, for fans. The reigning WNBA champs are here.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. I mean, obviously there's a ton of enthusiasm, excitement around the event too, because ticket sales are off the charts, and I think everybody's excited to get here to watch the reigning champs, but more importantly to celebrate both Sabrina and Niara. I think it's really neat that they're here. I know they're super excited. In fact, Sabrina has kicked us out of our locker room, made everybody put their stuff because she wants to to be back in that locker room and back where she was at one point. So it's going to be what just an opportunity for everybody.
How did this come about? Did you have a say in this? Did you influence this at all? Or?
Well, their general manager, Jonathan Kolb, who will be here. The funny thing is they're bringing their whole group. The dance group, they're bringing everybody. He just called me during the winter and said, hey, we're thinking of doing a game out there. What do you think? And I said, well, I'll just, ask my administration. I don't think they're going to have any issues with it. So I went up the flagpole with it, and then they took it from there. So all I was a conduit between their general manager and our administration. So I'm glad that they worked it out. I think it's just going to be it's a win-win for everybody.
What do you think is going to be going through Sabrina and Niara's heads as they play in Matthew Knight Arena again?
Well, Sabrina's in a little different situation, I think, than Niara. Sabrina's senior year, she didn't have any closure here. We had just won the conference tournament decisively, and we're all primed to have 2 games here, in Eugene, and then more than likely 2 games in Portland in the regionals. And after the second game, let's say, of the tournament here, there would have been some closure. Everybody would have known that's their last time to play here, and they just never got a chance to do that. Plus, we never got a chance to win a national championship that year, and so for Sabrina and Niara to win this, the WNBA championship last year, I think was, it was fitting. She's got that championship now that kind of eluded her in college. So I just think it's a chance to, for everybody here to kind of have a little bit of closure. Hey, we got Sabrina back here. And Niara, but to a lesser extent, Niara wasn't in uniform that year that we were shortchanged by COVID. She was on the team but was not playing that year. So anyway, again, like I've said now 4 times at least, what a great opportunity for everybody.
Well, we've seen, as fans, as spectators, the accomplishments of Sabrina Ionescu at the professional level and in college. But you were around her every day over her 4 years. What stands out to you when you think about coaching Sabrina and her time in Oregon?
She made me a better coach because I couldn't take a day off because she never took a day off. She was here both physically, mentally. She was completely into it. She competed every drill. In fact, this morning when I was talking to the team about, just going hard in these individual workouts, that's what the greats do. They compete every single day, and that competitive greatness that she had, I think is her secret sauce. The other thing is the way she could elevate her teammates. Her teammates were better because of her, and and that's just there are a lot of great players out there that never make others better. and she's just is that special once in a lifetime kind of player. And and Niara too. She only had 2 years to play here. She got her degree. She was here 4 years, but only got to play in 2 of them. But she did just wonderful things, and and she is equally a great competitor.
I'm just thinking about Ducks now at the professional level. Is that a nice recruiting pitch? Do you talk about that with potential freshmen or transfers about the professional success you can have?
Oh, no question about it, because when we had 2 top 20 players in here that are high school juniors right now. They were in here last week, and and both wanted to be pros. That's their goal. So what we do is we've got a roadmap how to get there. We've got a good number of players in there. I think us, Connecticut, South Carolina. There's a few of us that have maybe the most players in the league, and we can point to that, say, hey, you can come here and work on being a pro. And now to have a team in Portland, I mean, how cool is that going to be? It's going to be real special.
That's exactly what I was going to ask about to wrap it up, to circle back. How about basketball in the Pacific Northwest now, a professional team in Portland, and all the fan support that have come out for the Ducks, and friends down the road too. They get good crowds. So how about basketball in the Pacific Northwest? How have you seen it develop and grow?
Well, first of all, Seattle's one of the better organizations in the WNBA, have been for a long time. So when Portland gets, up to speed, I'm telling you, that's going to be a great rivalry. But the fans here in Oregon are tremendous. Oregon State and Oregon, we've had 2 of the biggest, top 15 or 20 in fan attendance almost every year. So, those fans and, the Portland Thorns in soccer draw really well. I think they draw more than any other organization. So I think Portland's going to be one of those destination spots. I think it's going to end up being a great franchise. People love it. People are going to support it. Could you imagine if, when Satu or Sabrina, go up there to play, packed house, just like it is going to be here tonight. So good things are going on in the Pacific Northwest.
We saw the packed house that it was at Matthew Knight Arena on Monday, and I'm really excited for more women's basketball to be in the Pacific Northwest. Whether you count the Bay Area, Pacific Northwest or not, that's certainly up for debate. But certainly with Seattle and Portland and now a Bay Area team, there's a lot of local talent going on in women's basketball in the professional ranks, and we saw just how good that can get over the week on Monday when Sabrina and Niara, the New York Liberty, were in town at Matthew Knight Arena. That was a whole bunch of fun. We still got more WNBA content to get you throughout the course of the week, but we got to get you geared up for baseball game day tonight when we come back on Duck Inside on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow. You sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
I want you to know. I said I want you to know right now. You've been good to me, baby. Better than I've been to myself.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, it's Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. It's time for the Cafe Yum 2-minute drill, getting you ready for Oregon baseball tonight as the Ducks face off against Iowa. 3:45 pregame on the Oregon Sports Network with Joey Mack. 4 o'clock first pitch in Iowa. It'll also be televised on Fox Sports 1. And it's featuring 2 members on Oregon that are part of a new watch list. The Dick Hauser Trophy for the best player in college baseball. It's not the same as the Golden Spikes, different publication, but essentially awards the same thing. The Dick Hauser Trophy, the semifinalist, features both Jacob Walsh and Mason Neville as national semifinalists. Oregon is one of just 7 schools to have multiple players on the semifinalist list for the award. Mason Neville, of course, one of the front runners for the Golden Spikes, but I think it should not be overlooked how stellar of a season that Jacob Walsh is having at first base defensively, but also offensively. His batting average is up close to 100 points, up by about 80 points from last year. And he also is going to replicate, if not break, his home run total from last year, which, if you remember, tied the Oregon single-season record. He would probably break it again, if not for being on the same team as Mason Neville. That's how good Oregon sluggers have been this season. Also, Oregon softball. The Ducks, they just released the NFCA regional teams for softball. Came out, less than an hour ago, and Oregon has 7 representatives on the NFCA Mountain Region team. 4 on the first team: Lindsey Grine, a first-teamer; Kedri Lushar, a first-teamer; Riley McCoy, and Elise Sokolsky, all NFCA Mountain Region first-teamers. On the second team, Kai Lushar, a Mountain Region second-teamer; Stephanie Maake on the second team, all Mountain Region; and Paige Sinicki also taking home all Mountain Region second team honors by the NFCA. Oregon softball in action tomorrow to start their regional. Opening game will be against Weber State, the second game of the day at Jane Sanders Stadium. We will have a full breakdown of Oregon softball regional preview on tomorrow's show. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday affair. Tonight on the Oregon Sports Network, it's baseball. Big game. Grayson Grinzel, Kate Obermueller for Iowa, 2 aces on the mound. Go Ducks.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's.